She never looked at me like that. What if a single glance could break a heart that never healed? As Chae Soo-bin's romance with Yoo Seung-ho takes center stage. One man watches in silence. Yoo Seung-ho. What's the story behind his quiet sorrow? Let's uncover the truth together. Only on Red Carpet revealed. She never looked at me like that. A simple sentence. No accusations. No anger. Just the quiet collapse of a heart once full of silent hope. It wasn't shouted across a press conference or posted on a cryptic Instagram story. It was whispered, they say, to a close friend during a quiet dinner, barely audible over the sound of clinking glasses and polite laughter. And yet, those 7 words now hang in the air like the final line of a film that never got its sequel. Because the woman in question, Chae Soo-bin, rising star and queen of quiet elegance, is no longer a mystery waiting to be unraveled. She's in love, and not with him. A glance captured, a heart exposed. It began with a flash. Not from a revelation, but from the paparazzi. A single photo taken outside a hidden restaurant in Cheongdam-dong shattered the silence. Chae Soo-bin, glowing in the soft evening light, holding hands with Yoo Seung-ho. Her smile, unforced. Her eyes, fixed on him like he was the only person in the world. The media called it a sweet moment. Fans called it long overdue. But for Yoo Seung-ho, it was something else entirely, a mirror he couldn't look away from. She never looked at me like that, he allegedly said, his voice caught between pride and pain. Because once, just once, he had hoped she would. The unspoken chapter. To understand the depth of this heartbreak, we have to go back. 2017, on the set of I Am Not a Robot. The chemistry between Yoo Seung-ho and Chae Soo-bin was impossible to ignore. Their banter behind the scenes. The way their gazes lingered just a fraction too long. The easy way they laughed when the cameras weren't rolling, it all fed the rumor mill. Articles speculated, fans fantasized, and somewhere in the middle of it all, something real was growing. No official statement was ever made. No confirmation, no denial, but those close to the pair spoke of late-night rehearsals that stretched past midnight. Of coffee runs where one always paid for the other. Of a subtle shift in body language when they were within arm's reach. It wasn't loud, it wasn't public, but it was there, until it wasn't. Love that dissolved in silence. Some say Yoo Seung-ho grew distant after filming ended. Others say Chae Soo-bin was the one who pulled away, choosing her career over complication. Whatever the truth may be, they drifted, slowly, silently, like 2 ships leaving the same harbor but turning toward different seas. He never spoke of her again. She never mentioned him by name. Until now, the story had become nothing more than a footnote in the margins of their rising careers. But one photo changed everything. Not because they were still in love, but because love, once buried, never truly disappears. It simply waits for a reason to resurface. Yoo Seung-ho, the man who arrived later, but mattered more. Enter Yoo Seung-ho, the ever-dependable heartthrob known for his warmth both on and off screen. It's not hard to see why Chae Soo-bin might fall for him. He's calm, secure, and has the kind of eyes that make promises without saying a word. Their relationship, according to a source within the entertainment industry, developed naturally over time. They started as colleagues, grew into friends, and somewhere along the way, something shifted. The public might just now be catching on, but those close to them knew it was only a matter of time. It's different, one insider noted. With Yoo Seung-ho, she seems safe. She doesn't have to pretend. Safe. Maybe that's all she ever wanted. And maybe that's what Yoo Seung-ho couldn't give. A heart that watches in silence. Since the photos were released, Yoo Seung-ho has been noticeably absent. He skipped a major script reading. His agency cited personal reasons. But the timing hasn't gone unnoticed. Staff members on his current project mention a man who shows up early, leaves late, and speaks little. He's focused, one crew member said, but there's a sadness in his eyes we haven't seen before. A sadness born not of betrayal, but of what was never fully his to lose. Because maybe she wasn't in love with him. Maybe she was just next to him, hoping the feeling would come. But it never did. And now, She's looking at someone else the way he always dreamed she might look at him. But those who remember her past, a quiet, unconfirmed relationship with Yoo Seung-ho, can't help but notice the contrast. Because love doesn't always end in heartbreak. In the now viral photos with Yoo Seung-ho, Chae Soo-bin is laughing, not the demure, polite laugh she once gave to cameras, but a full, uninhibited laugh that creases her eyes and tilts her head back. There's no fear of how she looks. No hesitation, just a woman in love. And a man beside her who seems to know exactly how to hold space for that joy. By contrast, those who followed her during the I Am Not a Robot era will remember something very different. When she was around Yoo Seung-ho, the atmosphere was careful. She smiled, yes, but it was a soft, closed-lipped kind of smile. She laughed, but always with her hand gently covering her mouth. Almost like she was trying not to laugh too much. They had chemistry. Undeniably, but it was the kind you lean into cautiously, like stepping across thin ice. Her body language was precise, composed, professional. The rumors swirled, the fans speculated, but neither of them ever broke the spell of discretion. Now, that spell is clearly broken. From avoiding cameras to owning the spotlight, there's something powerful about being seen, and choosing to be seen. During her time with Yoo Seung-ho, Chae Soo-bin was known to avoid the cameras. Whenever the two were spotted together, whether at rap parties or promotional events, she'd often stand at a distance. The space between them spoke volumes. And if a camera pointed in their direction, her gaze would instinctively shift away, as if afraid that even a shared glance might reveal too much. But with Yoo Seung-ho, there is no such fear. In fact, she seems to walk directly into the frame. Their recent photos show them shoulder to shoulder, often leaning in as they talk or laugh. She doesn't shy away when he gently brushes her hair from her face, nor when he places a protective hand on her back. It's not for show, it's just natural. This isn't a relationship built behind closed doors. This is a relationship that thrives in the daylight. Two loves, two versions of her. Those who know her best say she's changed, not in the way fame often changes people, but in the way love can. She's softer around the edges now. One stylist from her recent shoot shared, like someone who no longer feels the need to defend her own heart. It's a shift that's hard to ignore. With Yoo Seung-ho, Chae Soo-bin was poised, professional, a picture of control. Their rumored romance felt like a secret they were both afraid to say out loud, perhaps because they weren't sure what would happen if they did. With Yoo Seung-ho, there are no such doubts. She doesn't hesitate to reach for his hand. She doesn't flinch when he leans in close. She doesn't hold back her laughter. And in that freedom, the difference becomes heartbreakingly clear. The love that came first, and the one that stayed. Sometimes, love begins in silence, and sometimes, silence is the very thing that ends it. There is no scandal here. No betrayal, no villains, just a quiet truth playing out in full view. She has become someone new. And perhaps, she could only become this version of herself with someone who asked for nothing but her smile. That's the tragedy of timing, when the right person arrives at the wrong time. Or the right love simply isn't ready to bloom. So while Yoo Seung-ho may have been the first, it's clear that Yoo Seung-ho is the one who stayed long enough for her to finally feel safe enough to shine. And now, when the world sees Chae Soo-bin smile, they don't wonder who she's hiding it for. They know exactly who she's looking at. And perhaps that's what love looks like. Not just in her smile, but in the freedom to finally smile without fear.